Hello and welcome to this video where I will show you how to use the Google AlphaEarth Land Classifier app. So once you have the link, by the way, the link for this app will be provided below in the description of this video. So you click on the link and this is gonna send you to basically a Jupyter format, Jupyter notebook format, that contains all of the functions for the app. Everything you have to do once there is go to Run right here on the upper menu and then click on Run All Cells. And this is gonna load all of the functions required for the app. And then you're gonna be required to have a Google Engine token. So if you don't have one, you're gonna click here. And if this blue button right here for you is not active, everything you have to do is go here to the Cloud Project section and click on Choose Project. Then you click here and create a new project. And you're gonna choose a name for your project. So for example, EE, my first project 1919. You can select any name as long as the first part of your project name is the same. Then you hit on select. And then you're gonna get this note. Project blah 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 is not registered for Earth Engine. In most cases, you will need to register this project. So you're gonna click here on register this project. And this is basically going to give you two options: a commercial use and non-commercial use. You're gonna select non-commercial, get started. You have to select your organization type. For this time, we're gonna select other, next, and you're gonna say which of the following best describes your use case. You can select individual research or non-commercial use, not involved with an organization. And then you're gonna please provide more info about how you will be using Earth Engine. You can say, for example, self-learning about Google AlphaEarth. You're gonna check eligibility, and it says that based on your answers, you're eligible for non-commercial Earth Engine use. That's good. So then you hit the next button again, and under describe your work, you can select either mitigation, adaptation, or protection and conservation. You can select any of those, and then you have to answer this question: will you use Earth Engine for any of the following? You can go down again to other and say self-learning about Google AlphaEarth. That's it. Then you hit next button, and finally you click on register. That's all. Now you go back to the previous tab, and now this blue button will be activated. So you click on it, and then you're going to use your Gmail account to log in. Continue. You have to select all of them. Continue. And then you will have this authorization code. This is what you have to copy. Go back to your app window, paste the code right here, and hit enter. And this is going to launch the app with all the features required for good functioning. So please read across the documentation, read across the instructions, and I'm just gonna show you a very simple example of how to use this app. So first, you're going to select a region of interest. For example, for this case, I'm gonna go to the Great Lakes, select a little square right here. Then you will see some information about the region that you selected, latitude, area. And then you want to select the land cover classes. You can pairwise classify between tree cover, shrubland, grassland, cropland, built up, bare spares, snow, ice, water, herb, mangroves, moss, and all other classes. So for example, for this particular case, I'm interested into classifying water from everything else. And then you're gonna select the algorithm settings. You have 4 types of machine learning classifiers: random forest, gradient boosting, XGBoost, and light GBM. I'm gonna keep it simple for the sake of the example. You can select the percentage of test data from 10 to 40. I'm gonna keep it to 25. You can select how many samples you want for each class. You can go from 50 to 300. I'm gonna keep it simple to 100. And you can select the scale of the Google AlphaEarth embeddings. This is the spatial scale. So you can go from original scale, which is 100 meters, 100 square meters, up to 2,000 square meters in case that you want to do some kind of upscaling because your area is too large or because you're running out of memory. But this time I'm gonna keep it to the native original scale, which is 100 meters. You can also change the seed for reproducibility. And sorry, I forgot to select the country. So up here, you're going to be required to select which country are you now. This time I'm gonna select the United States. And then once you have all of those information ready, you can hit the Run Analysis button. Depending on how large your area is, or how many samples you have, or how complicated your particular classification task is, it is going to require more or less time. Remember, we are trying to classify water bodies against everything else on the surface of the Earth. So we are basically trying to extract those pixels that belong to a water body. Okay, now your analysis has been completed. You can check results. This is gonna give you accuracy and some other metrics for this particular classification task. It is also going to give you the confusion matrix, and this is going to give you the top 3 most important embeddings for this particular classification, which is water against everything else. And here we see that the most important ones are A49, A43, and A64. Here on this plot, you can see, on this bar plot, you can see all of the 64 embeddings from A01 to A64 and how important they are for this particular classification. And it is going to paint yellow those top 3 highest important embeddings. If you scroll down, you will see your area of interest, with some layers that might be interesting to explore in higher detail. For example, you can see the pixels belonging to water, the pixels belonging to all other classes. You can see the embedding A49, embedding A43, embedding 64. You can see your samples for water land cover. You can see the samples for the other land covers, and you can see the boundary of your region of interest. And finally, if you want, you can download those top 3 embeddings as TIFF files, and please give us your feedback. How has this app helped you to get familiar with the Google AlphaEarth embeddings? What are your suggestions for improvement? Thank you very much. See you in the next video.